Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Podcast number 2, The Insider. I'm AJ Rumsa.
And I'm on again. I'm a little hurt right now, but I'll be fine.
You hurt his finger. We'll be okay. We're going to recap, obviously, the Super Bowl, the big win with the Eagles. We're going to talk a little bit about offering an 11-year-old a college scholarship.
And we're also going to hit on what's going on with MLB and the players and the free agents not signing. These teams don't want to spend any money.
You act like you know somebody that played baseball or something.
I know a lot of people that play baseball. Everyone's just trying to get paid, like the owners get paid. So we'll see what's going to happen with that.
Hey, also, before we start the show, we want to tell you guys the feedback from the first one has been incredible. Different people have been hitting us up, telling us how much they like it, the insight. So please keep giving us feedback. Stuff that you guys want to talk about, whether it's sports.
Anything at all when it comes to great restaurants that you guys want to go to in Chicago, or where do you guys want to go out in Chicago, where do you want to hang around, anything at all that we're welcome to give you guys our feedback and show you guys what we do.
I love that. I told you guys the Insider Podcast, number 2. Let's get it going. Let's talk a little bit just about the Super Bowl. Obviously, I know.
We get it. You won.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. That's what I wanted to hear.
He picked the winner. I went with the favorites.
Yeah.
And
I think everybody did, though.
I think most people did, and it backfired. If you would have told me that if Tom Brady was going to throw for 500 yards, no interceptions, and the Patriots were going to lose, I'd say impossible.
On paper, maybe one of the best games.
Oh, my God. What did we say at the end of the show, the first show? All we wanted was an entertaining game, and we got one. It was a nail-biter. Obviously, not a lot of defense. I think it broke the Super Bowl record for most yards in total for both teams.
I was surprised with that. I was surprised.
Yeah, it was very exciting to watch. Even the halftime show I enjoyed.
The halftime show, Justin Timberlake, I've always been a fan. He could have took it up a notch. Everyone that kind of said they watched it, they said it was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't horrible.
It was more a little laid back.
It was more laid back.
Maybe that's because he was worried about the Patriots are doing awful.
I think everybody was.
Yeah. So they played great. Doug Peterson with the Eagles, the head coach, They did some really gutsy calls. They won with a backup quarterback in Nick Foles. Carson Wentz, they kept going to him in the sideline. He's their number 1 quarterback. They won with a backup quarterback. They beat Belichick and that great defense.
What was
or lack thereof?
Just not to interrupt you, but I'm going to interrupt you. What do you think the Patriots were missing? They might have been missing a one player, something that could have really helped, something that could have made them win that Super Bowl.
Yeah, I really don't know what's going on with Malcolm Butler, other because I'm not in that locker room. But it's they haven't said anything. Guy plays 98% of the snaps all season and all year, and the year before that.
From the time that he got that interception versus Seahawks, he's basically played every single possession.
And now Tom Brady comes out, I think it was yesterday, saying that he's a great teammate, giving him the vote of confidence. Basically, no one outside of that world knows what's going on with Malcolm Butler and why he didn't play. Was it Bill Belichick's ego that got in the way? Was it a personal thing? I don't know. But having someone like that on the field and not having him on the field is a big cause of concern. And literally, it might have cost him the game.
I think people, you don't want to put it on one guy, but somebody who's that effective, somebody who has such a huge impact on the game, I think he can make a difference.
Best players play.
And I think that the thing is, though, you put whatever happened, we don't know what happened, we don't know if you went out, we don't know. But what I'm going to say is if you put yourself in that position, anytime, not even before the biggest game of your life, you don't deserve to play. That's me. You do not deserve to play. You made a mistake. Something happened. You don't just not play an amazing player.
I don't think Bill Belichick or the team's gonna go like, well, he did this and it's not a big deal. He did something. Yeah. And let's not remit. It's in New England Patriots. If it would have been some other franchise, you say,
they're probably gonna play. Don't worry, we'll put it under the rug. Sweep it.
Exactly. So that's why you have to respect these guys and say, we don't care that it's a Super Bowl. You violated team rules. Yeah. You don't play.
Follow the rules.
So he messed up. You suffer the consequences.
And that's why the Patriots are where they are, because of the organization holding their coaches accountable, holding their players accountable. And it's not just about football with them. I feel like it's more than life. It's more than that. It's more than the sport.
It's guys that they signed Randy Moss. He acts perfectly. Yeah. It's the Patriot way. Yeah. So
I love it. It's the Patriot way. How do you guys do it? We do it the right way. The Patriot way.
Exactly. So they don't. It goes from Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah.
When everything that happened with him, they make decisions that are better for the organization. Might not be the popular one, but they still make it. You got to respect them for that.
And for everybody that's listening, everyone that's watching, all the kids, make sure, man, the choices you make can have the biggest impact on not only your life, but the other people around you. He made a mistake. and did something we don't know yet, but it's affecting his life, and it also affected his teammates' life, his coach's life. So make sure you guys are doing the right decisions. Don't put yourself in these bad situations that you could get yourself into trouble with.
Sometimes easier said than done. Because, there's out of there, it's temptation, you're growing up, it is what it is, but you have to try to make the best decision for yourself, especially when you start becoming into high school athlete, becoming a college athlete. We all know you go in professional ranks, there's a bigger microscope on you, and it's easier to make mistakes.
But basically off what he said, our high school guys, our college guys, it's only going to get bigger for you guys. There's only going to be more people watching. So make sure you guys are doing the right thing, not only for yourselves, not only for your family, but you're representing a school, you're representing different universities, you know what I mean? Represent it like you guys would if it was yours.
Yep, to a person that's much is given, much is expected, so
I love this.
It is
I
what
love
it is.
this. Super Bowl's done. We'll talk a little bit more about that maybe later. I want to kind of jump, we were just talking about our young high school, college athletes. They offered an 11-year-old a college scholarship to the University of Florida to play softball. What do you think? I mean, the scholarship's incredible. What do you think about offering young kids at that age, 11 years old, a scholarship?
Well, first of all, she must be pretty darn good, pretty darn good to get
11 years old.
I mean, that's amazing. You know what? People in Europe do it. Those big soccer clubs, Madrid, Barcelona, Arsenal, Manchester United, they've been doing that for years. You sign, you go to your academy. The fact that this little girl can even be considered to do that, and she's a commit, shows to her talent, her dedication. But now, what that happens is now when you go to junior high, and her next game will be a big deal, and people are going to watch her play, and your opponents are going to try to get you out, and now you have a target on your back because this is what you get.
Yeah.
Now this is what is expected from you. As an 11-year-old, I don't know how you handle that. It's hard to handle as a 25-year-old.
I'm 20. I'm 27. A couple years ago when I was playing, it was hard for me to deal with it.
So I don't know. Obviously, her parents probably took the initiative and said, college is expensive. This is a big deal, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know how you handle that as an athlete, being 11 years old. Like, I remember being 11 years old and being worried about, I want to go eat pizza with my friends after the game.
I was playing tag. I was running around. Right. I wasn't getting college scholarships like that.
So I understand it from their perspective that it's groundbreaking, especially in the United States, because you don't really see that kind of thing. Yeah. It goes on in other parts of the world. I just hope it's not a common thread here, because as you know how parents are with their kids, and they're out there, and their kids should play, and their kids. I mean, and we all.
Sometimes the parents want it more than the kids.
Too much. That's why I hope it was the little girl kind of saying like, "I want this to my dad," and I hope it wasn't the parents that are forcing it on her.
And kind of just to jump off of what you said, hopefully it was the girl, because at 11 years old, how do you know what you want in a college? How do you know what to expect? How do you know where you're going? And when I was making my college decision, I had everybody from friends, family, different people that I thought I was cool with. Hey, go to this school. Go to this school.
Everyone's pulling you in different directions.
Sometimes a lot of people want you to go to a certain school because they're benefiting from it.
Of course.
And I tell people, do what is best for you. You're the person that's waking up every morning. You're the person that's going to be playing on that team.
There.
You're the person that's going to be there for the next 4 years. Yeah. You know what I mean? Go somewhere where you feel comfortable. And I think that being 11 years old, I mean, you said it best. Every game that she has, there's going to be more people coming. She committed to University of Florida. I want to see how good she is. So as soon as you have one bad game, that's what people want. And she's horrible. Yes. Why? She's 11 years old. She's going to have bad games.
And you know what? It just comes from their opponents, other parents. People get jealous. And the jealousy say, well, why can't my daughter have that? Or why is she better than me? Or all that stuff. And then as another opponent, you like to compete. So if I'm another girl and I'm facing her, I'm saying, well, I'm going to beat you now, and I have that extra initiative, that extra incentive to try to do better because of all this. But I hope it works out for her, and I hope it's a big deal. I'd love to see what happens within a year. I mean, this little girl's never even been on a date. Now she knows where she's going to go to college, right? To go to Gainesville. I mean, it's unheard of.
And to go off that, now what if she gets hurt her in high school? I mean, we're talking she's still in middle school, but you don't. I just stuff like that. It worries me for the kid, for the parents, because you have somebody that is so high on life and saying, hey, I just earned a college scholarship. I'm 11 years old, but now something happens and they take that scholarship away. She gets hurt. What do you do?
That's where the problem lies, because now there's going to be another girl who's 4 or 5 and a parent says, well, I'm going to work my kid out to the ground
Yeah.
because I want her to get a scholarship because we don't have any money.
Yeah.
And now kids stop focusing on school. Kids stop focusing on that. Like, oh, I'm going to be an athlete and you're 10.
And
You're
I'm
like,
gonna
what?
say this kind of, when you get that college scholarship, it's a weight off your back. It's almost like I made it. And for me, when not made it fully, I'm a slut.
But you get a little more comfortable.
You're comfortable because you're like, I've been working my entire life. I finally got that college scholarship that I've been working for every single day. Like, finally, now when I get there, I gotta work.
Well, I know you had to stay there and earn it.
Well, yeah.
I know you weren't no LeBron James.
Right. We'll get that on a different podcast.
Different level.
We'll tell you the different workouts I did.
Yeah.
But I just think that, that's where we are with that. So it worries me a little bit, offering an 11-year-old a college scholarship. I'm wishing her the best. I want her to do well. And
Absolutely. It's like when Tiger Woods played when he was 10. That's a phenom. For one Tiger Woods, there's 100 Tiger Woods trying to be failures.
Love that.
So it's you have to try to be smart, and you hope that the parents are doing what's right for the kids and not for a financial gain.
That's what makes me.
Of
That's
course.
what worries me. There's a lot of that goes into it. We're gonna have to jump on LeBron. We talked about the last podcast, Isaiah Thomas. We got LeBron. We think they can come together. Last night they played in Orlando. Did extremely well in the first half. Everybody was doing their thing between the legs, behind the back. LeBron shooting fadeaways, pointing in the crowd. Second half,
They blow a 21-point game lead
they blew a 21-point lead.
against the Magic.
Again, yeah. And
It's a weird situation. Because the All-Star break's coming up.
they need it.
And I get
they
it.
need
They
that.
need it more.
I'm stopping Oni right now.
They need-
Get to the All-Star break now, Cleveland.
So
Now.
they need it more than anyone as far as like what is going on. They don't have any answers. People are hurt. LeBron's whole All-Star team is deflated with injuries. Porzingis goes down. They all go down. There's a lot going on. LeBron's not even playing that well. He's 33 years old. Is he getting out of his? It's scary to say. Is he not in his prime anymore?
Yeah.
Is he played too many minutes? Now, if you're a free agent next year, do teams take a chance on him? There's just so much going on in the landscape. And Cleveland's like 3 games away from not being in the playoffs. Granted, I think they'll make it,
Yeah.
but they're not looking like a contender. If you saw Oklahoma, Warriors today, there's other teams that are looking better. The Cleveland Cavaliers have
They don't
a ton
even
of
look like a
problems.
playoff team. I hate to say it, but I'm telling you, and the things that I know it's the small things in the locker room. Is if you know, LeBron will never say, he's never like, oh, well, we're not really doing this or blame it on the other team. When they interview Isaiah, he's kind of like, well, they don't have, no one really has their back. We're all offensive one-on-one, and then guess what? It leads to defensive one-on-one, so no one's really helping. He's putting it out there.
He's very vocal.
He's very vocal, but
He might be vocal because he's thinking they're going to blame me
I'm with you.
because I wasn't here last year.
They're not, and if you people that are writing
Yeah.
articles, hey, is it Isaiah Thomas to blame? Is he the one for the Cavs falling off? I mean, there's a lot of different stuff, but I mean, to blow a 21-point lead, you in the second half against our Orlando team, who's
That's not
decent,
acceptable.
It's not
It's not
acceptable. After and you can chime in and tell me they've been to the finals the last 2-3 years. They're tired. LeBron's 33. Listen, the Warriors are struggling now too. Not to jump off that.
They lost to Oklahoma last night.
But you got the greatest player in the world, you know what I mean? And he doesn't even look like himself. That's what gives me a little that's what worries me.
And the narrative is it's going to keep going. The greatest player in the world. What can he do? Because it all starts with him. If he looks deflated, like he does now, he looks like he's moping.
He's the leader. He sets that tone.
He sets the tone. So if he looks like he's like, I'm going to jump ship and I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Everybody else, it's like you've been
It's
in a
a
locker
feel.
room.
Come on.
When you're in a locker room with people, you can feel it. You can cut the tension with a knife. You know something's not right.
Exactly.
You know it.
You know. And,
Oh, absolutely.
And not a bad thing to call people out, but I'm sure LeBron, he knows
You
who's
feel
with
it,
him.
of course.
He knows who's there, ready to go. Hey, let's go. I'm going to give you everything I got. And he can tell who's kind of sitting back like, nah, this isn't really for me.
Exactly.
And last night I was watching Inside the NBA, and to go off of what Baron Davis said, who I've watched my entire life, but he was speaking facts. He literally said these guys are just too like, I'm
too
Hollywood.
cool.
I'm Hollywood. I'm
You gotta
cool.
have scrappy guys.
Yeah, you gotta have the dirty. You gotta have the guys that get down and get dirty.
Some of these guys, the D Wades, the Derrick Rose, the Isaiah Thomas, were the guy on their teams.
Yeah.
Now you're asking them to be
Come on.
the role players, know your role. Isaiah's thinking, I need to get 30 shots up. I need to get 25 shots up. Why am I not getting those shots?
Yeah.
If I was getting it somewhere else.
I've always got them.
I've always
got my shot when I want it.
Exactly.
I could shoot. No one ever complained.
So-
You're gonna tell me that's a bad shot? I'm Isaiah Thomas.
it is hard to defer to somebody. It's very rare you get your Magic and Kareem, Kobe and Shaq, Pippen and Jordan. There's always going to be that guy. Yeah. And some Isaiah Thomas is thinking, well, I just came from averaging 29.
Right.
And now they're asking me to play defense. They're asking things out of guys that they've never asked before. And not only does it take a big-time coach to do that, that's why I think sometimes Ty Lue is a little bit over his head because he's never dealt with anything like this before. And so you feel for him.
I know we're on this topic. Just to chime in really quick, do you think the problem is Ty Lue? Do you think they get rid of him?
I do think Tyrone Lue's going to get fired, yes. Because...
that'll be podcast coming up, but I just want to throw that in there.
Because you can't fire 15 guys. Somebody's going to be the fall guy.
Someone has to be the fall guy. And what you just said, you got Derrick Rose used to be an all-star, Isaiah Thomas recently an all-star, Dwayne Wade, one of the best ever played. Kevin Love. I mean, like you said, you don't have those guys that say, "Hey, I know my role. I'm going to take my 4 shots. I'm going to rebound every shot that you need. I'm going to do what's best for the team." They don't have those guys.
And now they have Mr. Kardashian now, who just all of a sudden who's going to be a father. He all of a sudden forgot to play.
Podcast over. We're ending it off the Kardashians. Just like
what happened? Tristan Thompson signed that big deal, and now all of a sudden, now the teams are offering trades, and the Clippers are like, we don't want J.R. Smith. We don't want Tristan Thompson.
We don't want you.
We don't want you guys.
And I think that, and somebody was talking about it yesterday, but I think it's an excuse. But they're saying, oh, Tristan Thompson came from being one of the main guys on a championship team. Now he has no confidence because he's barely even playing. I think that's an excuse. I get that. But that's why you're getting paid $50, $100 million. You got to perform. I don't care what you're going through. You got to find a way.
You know what it's like. You in school, or you had a fight with your girlfriend, you had a fight with your wife. That's your job.
Right.
It's not. You're not playing rec league. That's your job. Is to shut everything out. That's what people say. Be a pro. Be a pro. You can have a fight with your mom. You don't feel well.
When you get to that gym or when you get to that field, you know everything that I've just dealt with
matter.
To the side. When I get on here, I'm getting paid to play. This is what I love to do. This is the choice I decide to make as a young kid. I'm gonna give it my best. I'm not just come out there and give it 40%, man. You know how many people would die to be in that position? To be on an NBA floor, playing with the best player, doing what you love. Oh, and you're making $50, $100 million.
And that's why, to end our little LeBron thing, that's why I never put LeBron in the basketball standpoint with Michael.
You never have.
Because Michael go out there every night, and I'm going to give you 50. Because I'm not taking any days off. I'm going to give you 50.
I don't care if my grandmother's guarding me. That's how he was.
Exactly.
That's how he was.
It's just, no, we don't follow LeBron. It's just not in his DNA.
Right.
He's not. It's like a Russell Westbrook. Like I'm a killer. I'm an
love
instinct,
that dog.
I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna just take everything I have and I'm gonna give it to you. It doesn't matter if it's in November against a meaningless game.
Yeah.
Those guys are different.
And I think that's kind of how me and you relate.
Yeah,
me and you are dogs. I mean, with you playing baseball, you've always, man, I'm tapping, I'm going hard. This and that. Me in basketball, I've always been like, I'm the underdog. I'm 5'8". I'm gonna show you
because you're not,
what I can do.
Certain abilities that you like. I'm gonna have to compensate for and other things. I gotta be loud. I gotta be quiet. You gotta do all these things that jump out of the page and say, you know what? I'm gonna be that guy. Maybe I'm not gonna score 30, 40, but I'm gonna do everything else that I can to help my team win. So
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it, man. You guys hear the insight. I want to jump a little bit, not super long. Only he's the expert in baseball. He knows it all. He knows all the guys. Talk a little bit about what's going on in the MLB, kind of with all the players, the teams.
And the free agents.
You told me yesterday there's only going to be a couple teams that are really good. And I feel like, your insight, you've been around the game your entire life. You know how the players act. What do you think is going through the player's mind, but also the coach's mind and the owners?
Well, it's funny that we're talking about this because $100 million, these guys have $100 million offers, and there's guys that are not taking it. That is an absurd amount of money to play a sport, but they're saying, "Oh, it's under the market, or we're not getting what we're worth." Yeah. I think it's a time that owners are now realizing my team's not going to be that good. Why do I need to go out and sign a JD Martinez or somebody and give them $200 million? Right. So it's their decision. Do I just wait and rebuild and not spend my money and get the guy that I really want in a couple of years, or do I spend money and give my fans what they want for a chance to compete?
Is this anything like the NBA and what's going on with the owners, or is it completely different?
It's similar, but in the sense that these guys are free agents and the major league, the players union is very strong.
Yeah.
It's just these teams get revenue every year, so they're supposed to spend X amount of money. Some of these teams aren't spending money, and they're not going to sign free agents. So if you're a fan of the Pittsburgh Pirates and you're like, well, we're not spending any money, why am I going to go to the game? That's where the problem comes in. Are you spending money to be competitive, or are you just going to pocket everything and just wait till everything goes? So these players who think they're worth $200 million, which is way too much money for some of these guys, they're getting offers for $100 million, $120 million, but they're not taking it. But spring training comes when Valentine's Day comes. Because that's a beautiful thing, baseball and romance. So they're either going to sign or you're going to stay home. So it's a decision that the player has to make. If someone offering you $120 million, but you think you're worth $150, at the end of the day, you want to play.
Right.
$100 million is still $100 million.
If you love the game, right?
You're going to play. $100 million is $100 million.
Right.
I mean, granted, it might be a little less in Canada with taxes, but you're still getting your money. Yeah, so exactly. These guys, there's so many free agents that aren't signed that it's ridiculous. I mean, baseball will never be like basketball because it's less players in basketball. But baseball has a lot of guys, and there's a lot of guys that haven't signed, and they're very upset about that. So we just got to wait and see what happens and wait to see what free agents fall. I think once one domino falls, I think other guys will come along. Yeah. But there's a lot of big names that haven't signed, and that's concerning because, as you know, baseball has a history of strikes, and that's the last thing we need because baseball's doing really good. So
that's true.
We don't want that.
Do you think is there any chance there's a strike this year? Is it close, or do you think that it's just sometime lingers around when this type of stuff happens?
I think it lingers, and in '94, when my dad was active at that time, and the Sox were really good, which is unfortunate, it lingers, but I do feel like there's something coming in the horizon. Yeah. They're going to put some precedent, something's going to happen to say this needs to stop, and they're going to force teams to say, you guys have to spend the money that you're getting, and because everything, at the end of the day, they look at it as business.
It's business.
So if you're owner of a team, you're like, I want to make money. I don't really care about winning 80 games. Yeah. But then you owe it to your fans, because that's why we, the fans, because me and you are fans. That's why we go to basketball games. That's why we go to football games. That's why we go to baseball games. It's because we want to be entertained, and you want your team to always have a chance.
I like that.
It is what it is.
Man, you guys heard that. My man Oni always spitting straight facts about baseball, basketball, football, women, the restaurants, a little bit of everything. We appreciate you guys so much. That was podcast number 2. Like we said, The Insider. I'm AJ.
And this is Oni again.
And again, we love the feedback. Whatever you guys can do. If you guys want to have us talk about certain topics, whether it's sports, whether it's a certain restaurant, like he said, just anything. We want to hear the feedback. We want to know what you guys are thinking. And all it does is help us. So we appreciate it. Give us feedback, whether it's on my Instagram, Oni's Instagram, whatever it is. We appreciate it. We hope you guys love episode number 2. Until next time, we'll see you guys.
That was a lot of content.
A lot.
I gotta get my left hand.
You see how it's just weird though? How it just flows?